Alright, let's take a crack at reviewing the R9T Urban GS. This is the 2022 model. So with the electronic rider aids and fly-by-wire system for cruise control, as well as a couple of things that I've done to it and will plan to do to it in the future. First off, I'll address the biggest issue probably with this bike, and that is the suspension. The rear and more importantly the front fork on this bike are kind of inadequate, to say the least. Not only that, but I'm on the heavier side. Like I'm 6'2" and about 200 pounds, so I find that the bike kind of dives a lot when I get on the brakes. But I did see that Öhlins makes a cartridge replacement for this bike that gives you preload and compression and rebound damping separately from preload, which is nice. So I'll be getting that eventually and do the install myself. It shouldn't be that hard. Also, if people are interested in these videos, in other words, if people watch them, I'll probably invest in upgrading my microphone. This one has a pretty low maximum sound pressure level, so it tends to clip a lot. So yeah, I'll upgrade this in the future. So yeah, if you've seen the other video that I have the Sportster S as well, and these two bikes make similar amounts of power and torque, but I will tell you that the Sportster S feels significantly faster, like 0 to 60 time for sure, and then the like a pull on the highway feels a lot faster on the Sportster. But I mean, that's not really what this bike is about. It has more than enough power for passing and for on the highway. You can sort of like throw it into a corner a lot easier than you can on the Sportster with the giant front tire. And I know that this bike really is more about style than it is about the off-road capabilities, but I think once I make the changes to the suspension, I should be able to at least take it off-road, at least to the level that I'm expecting to, like basically just dirt roads. And you know, if I were to go dirt roads and fire road, I mean, I've been down some pretty gnarly fire roads, but definitely dirt roads and some easier fire roads up north in cottage country. I put about 1,000 kilometers on this bike so far. I haven't done the first service yet, but I've installed the Wunderlich engine guards, and tomorrow I've got the rear fender kit and luggage rack coming from Unit Garage in Italy. So I'll probably post an install video of those, which is cool. And I also have a pretty fully stocked garage and shop, and I can do tool reviews as well as install and stuff. I mean, I'm not a professional mechanic by any means, but I have a little bit of experience working on cars, and I've got some Jeeps and trucks and stuff that I've done various mods to, and as you can see on the Sportster S, the install that I did for the license plate and light bars, not trivial, but not super complicated. So see, like, the sort of limit of my abilities. these bar end mirrors are from Wunderlich as well. Wunderlich doesn't make them, but they're called I think it's LRG Hindsight it's called. These are really cool, amazing mirrors. The stock mirrors vibrate like crazy, and I laugh because the Jay Leno videos where he's like, oh, I can't tell whether it's a bus or a Corolla. That's kind of what it was like. It would vibrate like so much, but you can see right now I'm going roughly 70 kilometers an hour and it's not vibrating at all. So the exhaust sounds a little bit anemic down low, but it does actually sound good. I don't know the RPM because this bike doesn't have a tach, but up in the middle and higher end of the rev range, it opens up a little bit, which is nice. I hope the noise isn't too bad and makes this video useless, but yeah, upper end of the rev range, the bike actually sounds pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel the need to upgrade the exhaust on this, at least right now. Maybe a slip-on in the future. Maybe I'll take the baffles out of the exhaust in this. I think there's some YouTube videos that have shown that it's been done, but the cap on the end of this is riveted on, so it makes it a little bit tricky. As for like wind deflection, having been used to a bike that that has no wind protection at all, this actually covers me up until like the maybe the base of my neck. So yeah, as far as wind protection, it's actually pretty good. Like it's easier to ride on the highway than my Sportster is, just because of this little fairing here. So surprisingly, it does do something. So yeah, as for like the acceleration pull, it's pretty good. Like it accelerates pretty good. It's much smoother. It's less aggressive than the Sportster. I mean, this particular bike, because it's the Urban GS model, it doesn't have a sport throttle mapping. It has just road and then dirt. So it's not going to be as aggressive as like the normal R9T would be, or even the Scrambler, I believe, has a sport mode. We can talk about the gauge for a second here. There's no left or right signal indicator, just a single signal indicator for both sides in the dash. You don't have any RPM information, nor do you have any gear indicator or anything like that. So you're basically just riding by feel and by sound, which originally when I bought this bike, I had planned to get the second gauge, which gives you a tach, and I believe it gives you a gear indicator. I could be wrong, but it definitely gives you a tach. And I think I've decided that like I just like the feel. I'm going to turn around. I think the wind is. I'm heading into the wind, and make the video quality a little bit better. But yeah, I like the feel. Just riding without even caring what the dash says. I thought I would hate it, but honestly I don't. And that's not just me like you know, being a fanboy of my own bike, I have the Sportster S, which has a crazy amount of tech, in-dash navigation, and you know, the full color TFT and all that stuff. But I enjoy, you know, just riding. And not worrying about all that other stuff. You can hear and feel where the engine wants you to be, so just ride without it. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, so I'm cool with that. Yeah, the main thing is the suspension. I really like the headlight, the LED headlight. It's got the adaptive. Whatever, cornering for the headlight, so it like it leans with you while you turn at night. It's kind of cool. The engine is super cool. It feels yeah, I mean, I think a part of the appeal of this bike is that the engine is like an older, air-cooled, you know, previous generation motor. I've only driven 1,000 kilometers, and I've only owned it for about a month. So, I mean, can't say that I've had any issues so far, but this engine, I think, has had all of its kinks worked out of it over the past decade. The one thing that I did, one disappointing thing that I found out when I bought this bike, I ordered the BMW head covers, the plastic ones, thinking that they would fit. But the Euro 5 model of this bike had the heads redesigned as part of their emissions changes. So the head covers don't actually fit on this bike anymore, which kind of sucks. So I went with the bars instead from Wunderlich, and because I was always worried about the look of the bars. But actually, they don't stick out any more than the engine, and in fact they've got a cool kind of utilitarian look to them, especially on this bike that's designed to look like the 1980s GS. So I think that these bars are definitely not out of place on this bike. I don't really notice any differences between the cable clutch on my Sportster and the hydraulic clutch on this. So I don't know how necessary it is and how much headache it's going to cause me in the future. But it feels a little different in its actuation, but the weight is about the same. Yeah, like I said, I removed those mirrors. I got these plastic plugs just from we've got an auto parts store here, and I trimmed them down. They're 3/8. They're for plugging holes in sheet metal, I guess, after you drill holes for like routing wires and stuff for installs on cars and stuff. So that worked pretty well. I've actually ordered a set of screw-in ones, but actually I don't mind the look of these like vinyl ones. So we'll see which one I end up sticking with. I have no idea where I'm going right now. I'm just sort of riding around. Yeah. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with this bike. Definitely planning on getting rid of the rear tail light. The rear tail light sticks out like 14 inches off the back of the bike. So the parts that I have coming tomorrow from Unit Garage, Just checking if I'm still recording. The parts that I have coming tomorrow from Unit Garage, replace that and replace it with like an enduro fender, so it looks a little bit like the front, and then it has an under fender license plate bracket and rear tail light, which is cool, because that's like the first thing that I want to get rid of on any bike is the rear tail light relocation. A buddy of mine just got the Rocket 3, and I actually really like the look of that rear fender. It's like the Sportster's rear fender, but done, rear license plate and tail light assembly, but done well. Can't see past this person. It is a little disappointing that it didn't come with an adjustable fork from the factory. I guess they were trying to do the whole look thing, but I mean they could have had an insert in an old school looking right side up fork with like the gators on it and stuff, and at least had the functionality so that we could do a little light off-roading on it. Now, I mean, there are plenty of YouTube videos out there of people actually taking these things off-road with, I mean, presumably no issues. And again, like, that's not really my plan. Just don't like the idea of having a bike that's completely a poser. But I don't think this is. I do really like cruise control. Both of my bikes have cruise control, so I've never really lived without it. I do really like these bar ends. Oh, and I forgot to mention that when I ordered the bar ends, I didn't order, there's a piece that's missing from here that's also coming tomorrow from Wunderlich. It's there, because the bar ends that come with this bike are not hollow for this screw to go through. I didn't realize that when I ordered that I needed that extra part. So, in fact, because I mean, it's totally my fault. It's not their fault for me not ordering the right parts, but they actually gave me a discount for having to pay for international shipping again. And then, like, because on top of, I mean, they ship with like a proper, like, not base package, not a base shipping speed, so you don't actually have to pay tons of money in brokerage. It's only $10. But I mean, anything helps, and I think that they, by giving me that discount on the piece that I needed, was really helpful. And I mean, totally unnecessary on their part, but goes to show what kind of company they are in dealing with. So I'm really happy about that. This guy gonna, like, slow down to 20 going through this light. do really like the seat, the red saddle on this. I will say that it's not. I mean, the Sportster S seat is not comfortable at all. This seat, about an hour to an hour and a half like in one sitting, is about all I'm willing to tolerate. So so any longer than like 150, 160, no, maybe 100 kilometers, my butt starts to hurt. Maybe I just got to get used to it. Make sure everything's still running. and I mean, hopefully this footage is useful for something, because it looks like everything is clipping. So yeah, I mean, if people watch these videos and if they're interested, I mean, I have access to lots more bikes that we can talk about and do moto vlogs on, and talk about things that aren't just about, you know, reviewing bikes. If that's what, if people are interested in that, because I mean, there was some pretty positive positive comments and a positive number of views on my last video, and I have been off YouTube for a long time. Just part of my frustration before was like just the amount of effort it was to make a video. And right now I'm basically only willing to do what I can do directly on my phone. So that's why I'm recording audio this way. I can transfer the content off of my GoPro. It was a little bit low in hearing there, but it still comes out fine. I'm only willing to do like what I can do on my phone with the least minimal, like the most minimal effort possible, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to produce content at any sort of meaningful cadence with my job and yeah, I mean, in my real life. But I do really like riding. I mean, I've done a lot of miles this summer, so I figured, like, if I can just, and I'm filming already because I've got my GoPro set up as a dash cam, so I might as well just, like, you know, talk to myself while I ride. And the benefit is that nobody around you can hear you to think that you're crazy for talking to yourself. So yeah, let's see where this road goes. There's like some pretty nice houses down here along the river. I was messing with the audio all day today with my Sportster S, and it's just too loud. It's just too loud for this microphone. So again, we'll see where it goes, and if it is, if this gets a decent number of views, I'll go buy a better microphone, and maybe the media mod for the GoPro to make my life even easier. I will say that if you are a small person, the seat on this bike is fairly wide. again, could cause you some discomfort in like your inner thigh area if that area tends to bother you. Seat's plenty soft. I think it could go for like maybe a groove down the middle, because that's really where I feel the pressure eventually. Not right now. I'm not feeling it right now. But yeah, so right now it feels great. And I also have like some hip issues. So riding like aggressive sport bikes is hard for me to do. Like a buddy of mine has a CBR 600 double R, the inline 4, and it's painful, like physically painful for me to ride that bike. So what I find comfortable and what you find comfortable might be a lot different. So we'll head back and see what this video looks like, and maybe upload it, and then I can do maybe a second walk around of this bike tomorrow when I get those parts in. The quad lock is it quad lock? I think it's quad lock. Yeah, the quad lock phone mount is really nice. I like it a lot. This one's got the vibration damper on it and the wireless charger. Oh, the other cool thing about this bike is that for the 2022 model or the 21 model, maybe just the Euro 5, all the Euro 5 models, they got rid of that stupid BMW DIN port that they use, that you'd have to convert to like a USB for charging. And instead, from the factory, it comes with a proper USB-A port. So I didn't need to buy any adapters or anything, which I had planned to do before I got this bike, because I thought that it didn't have it, but it turned out that it does, which is nice. Quadlock also sells a USB port that connects up to your trickle charger or directly to your battery, and it will monitor the battery voltage and will stop drawing once the battery reaches a certain voltage to prevent it from killing your battery when your bike isn't turned on, which is nice. Yeah, I'm riding west right now, and definitely it's into the wind. I'll turn left in a second. Maybe not a second, maybe a minute. So you can hear the exhaust. This bike, I mean, it's easy to move from side to side. Tires are good. Yeah, overall, I mean, I'm really happy with it, other than the couple of issues that we've spoken about. And the exhaust, the fork insert is, I think it's around $700 US, $750 US, which is a lot less than the $3,000 US it is to completely replace the fork with an upside down Öhlins fork. And it's probably, I mean, I get that it's probably not as good as the full fork, but it'll be more than adequate for my application. Neutral's a lot easier to find on this than on my Harley. As you you just heard me miss that second gear shift. It is very very deliberate. Like, you can feel the click really nicely. Really nicely into second gear. I just am not just being too gentle, I guess. Steering damper it's got on it. I mean, I don't probably don't ride it hard enough to ever have like a tank slapper situation happen to me on this bike, but I guess it's good that it's got it. Yeah. So let's see how this goes, and if people are interested in my lackluster commentary, and can go from there. Cruise control is super easy to activate. Wasn't paying attention. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully you're interested and you subscribe and come back for more. We can continue these moto vlogs.